My baby is asleep with his eyes open. It's kind of freaky and he's making a lot of noise. Yeah, if you hear stretching noises, just be jealous. Trust me, he stretches better than any of us. What is up, guys? Welcome back. So this video has been an embarrassingly long time coming. This is the big Cosmetics brand review, what's worth it and what's not, that I have been promising you guys for so long. There were a lot of things that kind of got in the way. We were waiting for the mascara to get released. We were waiting for the foundation to get released. I had a baby. And then also I bought a bunch of this stuff a long time ago, and then the brand reached out to me recently and sent me a huge PR mailer of like everything else. So I'm going to give you guys my review of pretty much everything in their line in the order that I would put it on my face. And I also filmed this look as it came together up close, so I'll be able to kind of put inserts in so you guys can see what it looks like while I'm applying it. And I will say, to start off this video, there are a lot of fan favorites of Cosmetics that I did not love. And then there were a lot of products that I feel like are sleeper hits that are just totally amazing and don't get enough attention. And for everything that I did put on my face, if I have other colors of it that I couldn't fit on my face, because there are a lot, I will also swatch those for you guys. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump in. First of all, I would be remiss not to thank Cosmetics for sending me so many things. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I did buy when I wanted to try the brand out, but they sent me so much stuff and I am so, so grateful. Okay, so the first thing that we must discuss is the brand new Daydream Cushion Foundation. This is a very K-beauty influenced kind of foundation delivery system, which is something that is pretty common in Michelle Phan's line. By the way, if you are unfamiliar with Cosmetics, it is Michelle Phan's line of makeup. Michelle Phan being, I don't know, maybe arguably the founder of what it is I do for a living. So I owe a lot to her in terms of establishing the entire YouTube beauty guru genre. And her experience and her passion for color and for makeup really come through in this entire line. Whether I prefer a formula or not, these are inarguably beautiful products. I'll just go ahead and start with that statement. But let's talk about this foundation real quick. So yes, this is the new foundation. It does come, I believe, let's see, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades, and it's very, very sheer. So it follows, you know, a very, what would we say, expansive shade range style with only 6 shades, but we're talking a super, super sheer formula. It does come with a little hypoallergenic sponge. I applied half of my face with this, and then I ended up just going in with a brush on the other half, and I might be biased. I love putting my foundation on with a brush, but I definitely preferred the brush delivery system. It was just way, way faster. So this is $48, and you get actually 2 cushions. You get the one that's already preloaded in the pan, and then you get a refill. I have the fairest shade, which is called Fair. So these are not inexpensive products by any means. I feel like they are, you know, right in the Sephora prestige price range, but I feel like they also come in luxurious packaging. I do feel like in my experience, the quality of these products does justify the price. So yes, $48 and you get 2 pans of this. For those of you who are curious whether you're going to be able to find your shade in this, especially if you are more lightly complected than I am or more cool complected than I am, I will say I've heard some feedback that these do pull a little bit yellow on some skin tones. That is a K-beauty thing. If you think about it, a lot of the Korean made foundations are going to favor more Korean skin undertones. I'm not going to say that that's a blanket statement for this entire line because obviously I only have one, but it does tend to pull a little bit yellow on some people. For me, I feel like it self-adjusted. It was really, really beautiful. So I love this as a totally undetectable base layer. I felt like it was completely uncomplaining on the skin. You can wear, I mean, it doesn't build up super easily, and I wouldn't have expected that from a cushion foundation. I don't know, I guess I see some on Pinterest that are like crazy coverage. This is not that, but it also has SPF in it, which is so, so cool. Not that it should be used as your sole SPF, but very cool that she did that. And I just feel like it is everything that she promised it would be. And for those people who are looking for a beautiful skin tint that goes on totally lightweight and undetectable, doesn't stay sticky or anything, and you can powder it. We'll get to that in a second, kind of why I ended up powdering it, but I did powder this with my Hourglass finishing powder, and it works beautifully. It's not gummy, it doesn't get all weird, kind of absorb too much powder, which a lot of skin tints can do. This is so ultra, ultra, ultra thin on your skin, and if you apply with a brush, it's really, really fast. So this absolutely gets my stamp of approval. I don't always go like binary, you know, yes or no. I will never tell you, you need this or you have to buy this kind of thing. But I think that for all of the promises and for everything that I expected from this, this is a total home run for me. The next thing after I did my contour and my bronzer was these little color drop guys. What are they called again? They're called color drops. Good job, Khaki. Yes, so color drop serum blush. These are $25 a piece, and I bought 2 of these and they sent me 3 of them. The ones that I applied to my face today were Little Lilac, because actually one of you guys requested that I try the purple one on camera, because I do talk so much about how lavenders and lilacs tend to pull pink on my skin, and this absolutely did that. I think it's because I have just a little bit of a yellow undertone, and it does kind of counterbalance a purple shade and go a really pleasing pink color. So I did that, and then I topped that off with soft amethyst. So let's go ahead and swatch all of these real quick. So these color drop blushes are sort of independent of her, what I would call like capsule color story collections that she puts out. She has a Magic Hour collection and a Faded Clementine collection, and those are like blushes and lips and things like that, and they all kind of follow the same color concept. And I love that she does that, because I feel like it's really easy to buy from her brand and know what you're getting, and they're all a look in and of themselves. It's kind of in the same vein as Charlotte Tilbury. You know, she puts things out in these collections that you understand they're all going to go together. These are not like that, but I really feel like you can't go wrong. These are all 6 of the shades of the color drops, and I have them kind of built up so that you can see them, and then we'll sort of share them out. So the first one is called Cherry Splash. This is definitely not my shade. When I put red on my face like this, it's like a candy apple red. It just, it completely disagrees with my undertones. But this one I am wearing right now. This is Little Lilac. Like I said, it does self-adjust to a really beautiful pink on my skin. And then we have Peachy Peach, which does look quite orange, but when you layer it on top of other things, I think that all of her orange shades are really, really well informed. They just kind of self-adjust. They're really beautiful. So then we have all 3 of these that are kind of, they occupy the same space in my brain. It was like hard for me to kind of tell them apart, but they are pretty different. So this is Rose Milk. This was the first one that I ever had, and it is one of the easiest ones to wear on pale skin because it's so sheer, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to build it up and see it unless you do have super, super pale skin. So bear that in mind. This is Soft Amethyst, which you would think would be very, very purple, but it's, I don't know, it's Fjord's vibes. You know, this is the other one that I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. Of course, you'll see it in the insert, not so much on my face at the moment. And it is that really, really nice kind of bricky, leans a little bit plum, you know? And then this is Venetian Rose, and it's almost a brown taupe pink rose kind of shade. And I think that these are all really, really beautiful. I haven't said it in this video yet, but I've said it in pretty much every time that I've mentioned M Cosmetics on my channel. Michelle Phan gets color. Every time I put one of these on my face, with the exception of this, which is just for someone else, not me. Every time I put one of her products on my face, I'm always like, I didn't think this color was going to work, and it does. There's just something about each of the choices that she makes with her colors that they are so flattering. They're just really flattering, and I don't think that it's just me. I think that they just are made to look really beautiful on skin, and I don't know how you do that, but I've definitely used things that aren't like that. And so from a formulation standpoint and from a color decision, color theory standpoint, she gets it, and we are borrowing her expertise with her line. So that said, this is a huge fan favorite, this formula. Everybody has talked this up to me, and everyone told me this was just a killer formula that I had to try and that I was going to be obsessed with it. I'm not that obsessed with it. And it's because it's sheerer than I would prefer, and it does not dry down. It stays really dewy and tacky. And I found that to make it difficult for me to build up the saturation value on my cheeks that I would like without it just kind of getting mucky. And that is a personal preference thing. I wear more blush than the average bear, I would say. And so if you are just looking for a sheer wash, these are a sheer wash. If you're looking for something that builds up and dries down, Daniel Sandler all the way. I love the Daniel Sandler blushes so much. I'm not going to pull them out today just because this is, you know, already going to be a crazy long video, but I do have a full face of Daniel Sandler coming up. I actually spoke to Daniel Sandler on Instagram. He's the sweetest guy ever. And he was like, what can I send you? And I was like, I want to do a full face of your makeup because I love your blushes so much. So that is coming down the pike, but understand that these are watercolor. They are going to give you just the sheerest wash of color, and they do stay dewy. If that's not your thing, go Daniel Sandler on the blushes, or, you know, Danessa Myricks or something like that that's just very, very saturated. These were not what I expected. Perhaps I need to adjust my expectations, but I did end up kind of blotting these off, powdering, and going in with her powder blushes. That is why I have a powder look on my face today. And I have reviewed these before, and someone actually specifically asked me to swatch these today in an unfiltered kind of situation. This is the Magic Hour and Faded Clementine. Faded Clementine, Magic Hour. I have both of these on my face right now. The first time that I tried these, I was in a very like summer makeup mindset where I think that I was a little bit less inclined to, you know, fully powder my face and do like a look. And so I thought that they were a little bit too highly pigmented, but today I found them to be totally perfect. Again, this is a crazy like orange shade, you would think, but when you put it on, I don't know what it is, guys. Her stuff just agrees with your skin. There's something about it. And I also thought they were gonna be crazy, crazy shimmery, and they're just not. It's like they have enough shimmer in them to blend really beautifully, but there's no sparkle at all. I actually have highlighter on. I have Hourglass highlighter on. So yeah, these are super, super beautiful. The color drops don't really do it for me, and these absolutely do. So I'm actually gonna kind of move these back up to top shelf, not just because the formula is beautiful, but because I really don't own many blushes that are these colors, especially the Faded Clementine. And I will mention really quickly the other things that went on my face besides M Cosmetics products here. I did go in with my Hourglass Vanish Concealer just underneath my eyes because I felt like once everything was dewy and then I put on an eye look, everything else needed to come up in terms of coverage. And so I did do my eyes first and then go in and make the decision to powder everything. So the eyeshadow palette of her line, it is the only one currently, is the Divine Skies eyeshadow palette. And I think that from a formula standpoint, this thing is an absolute knock it out of the park home run. This is the most easy formula. It's so satisfying. I've applied this on top of different foundations, different concealers, her foundation, no primer. And there's something about both the metallics, I mean, look at that. They're just absolutely gorgeous, and they spread really beautifully. They're super gratifying, and they're easy to wear. They just glow instantly when you put them on with your finger. But the mattes are also really, really satisfying. You just dip a brush in there and you can blend as the day is long, and they sort of just do the work for you. So I just really, really enjoy this. I have said this before, but I really would like to see her come out with more colorways in this because you are looking at something that is very medium toned. I would like to see something that was lighter. I would like to see something that is deeper. I would love to see her take on green or blue or purple or something like that because she has a way of taking any set of colors and making them agreeable to a beautiful makeup look. And I would just love to see her hot take on other shades than pink. So yeah, this is super beautiful. It's kind of an unlikely, you know, little eyeshadow palette. Like you look at this and you're like, is that going to be great, or is that just going to kind of be a throwaway? It is highly concentrated greatness. I love this so much. Now, her eyeliner. This is one that they sent me, and this is something that I would never buy on my own. I think that Lauren Conrad was the first liquid eyeliner that I have tried in years maybe, because I'm just not good at it. It's not that I don't like them, it's that I'm not very good at them. And so you can see this is probably exposing me and my lack of makeup skills, my lack of dexterity. But I mean, I didn't do the greatest job today putting this on, and that's because liquid eyeliner and I just don't really get along. That said, it's a really, really great liquid eyeliner. It didn't dry out while I was putting it on. It's not skippy or anything like that. The tip on it is small enough and precise enough that you can really get in there, get close to the lash line. Something that drives me crazy about liquid eyeliners in my very limited experience with them is when you start putting them on and you can't avoid that little gap between the eyeliner and your eyelashes, and it just looks like this weird hovering line. That's the worst. And I also hate when a liquid eyeliner is super, super shiny because, well, ain't none of us getting younger, okay? And you put a shiny line on your face and it's just this stark, solid line when honestly all I want is blur, 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 okay? So yes, this is really nice. It is matte, it is super black, and I like it very much if I were a liquid eyeliner person, which I am not. All right, let's talk about eyebrows because the lips are going to take a while. So the eyebrow situation that I have on right now, I have the fine liner brow pencil in light taupe on as, you know, just my pencil. I feel like you kind of need to go in with more of this than I typically would because this does not deliver as much pigment as I would hope for. This is the brow cream. Granted, I got this in light taupe and I got this in blonde, and I usually work with brown tones, so that could totally account for the discrepancy of what I'm used to versus what I got. But at the same time, I just felt like I couldn't get the impact that I'm used to. I typically use a Thrive Cosmetics pencil, and then I ended up going in with Boy Brow at the end because it just looked too sparse to me. It just looked unfinished, and I just wanted my brows to have that impact, my power brow that I'm used to. And so even though I went in with this, and then I went in with this, and then I went in with this again, and then I went in with her clear brow gel, I still couldn't get that impact that I wanted. I could just go for a deeper shade, but I'm sorry guys, nothing beats Boy Brow. And a lot of people have said when they see pictures of me or video of me wearing this brow gel versus Boy Brow, it's a lot of people's preference. Some people don't want a power brow, and I get that. But what it comes down to, I guess, is preference, and I really like the impact that I get from Boy Brow. So while this is lovely, and a lot of you guys recommended it to me, and I would totally understand if this was the aesthetic that you preferred, it's not my preferred aesthetic, but I cannot recommend the pencil highly enough. It is a fantastic formula. It's just creamy enough. It's just stiff enough. And while it is not an Anastasia Beverly Hills completely round tip, it is a little bit of a dash tip, but it's not that big, chunky, fat dash tip that you get from like Rare Beauty where it's just a runaway train. You have no precision. This is a lot of precision, even though it is like it's just like a fine dash. I spent too long talking about that. You guys know what I'm saying. All right, the thing that when they reached out to me, I asked for specifically, they were like, what do you really like need from our line? And I was like, I want to be an authority on your lip products, okay? I wanna know what all the formulas are. I wanna know what all the shades are like. So I'm going to swatch all of these lip liners that they sent me first, and I'm going to swatch them against my khaki lip liner because I'm personally really curious if they are similar at all and how they compare. All right, as the owner of a lot of nude lip liners, I figured I would go ahead and compare these to my current collection of favorites. So this right here is the shade, what are you called again? Bunny. And so Bunny is the pinkest out of all of them, and you see that's the first one that I used, and I used it with the Magic Hour lip gloss. I used it with the Magic Hour True Gloss, because the other one is actually a whipped matte lip. So these are actually supposed to be the same color. They're supposed to both be Magic Hour, but this is the True Gloss, and this is this whipped lip that honestly, it's like what the Rare Beauty whipped lip situation was going for, but it didn't quite, I mean, it did a good job, but this does a better job. It's so, so awesome. I really, really like this formula. It's very, very pretty. Anyway, about the lip liners. This is Bunny. That's the first one that you see. This is Kitten. It's going to be kind of a peachier brown. And then this is Teddy. Those are the three that they sent me. This is my khaki lip liner, which you can see is a much cooler mocha brown. This is the Victoria Beckham number 2, very peachy nude, a little bit deeper lip liner. And then this is Patrick Ta, She's Proud, which is going to be even paler and a little bit more taupe. So extremely nuanced, you can't really go wrong. But the second look that you see me do is the Kitten shade with the caramel glaze. lip gloss. This is an absolutely ridiculous color and a ridiculous formula. So beautiful. Look at that. It's like this perfect coffee color. I just love this so much. And then I topped it back off with the Magic Hour. And I feel like that's the cool, like, underlying secret of her products, is that they all mix together really well. And so you can play with all of these tones and, like, you know, warm them up or cool them off or wear a different lip liner with them or something like that. And they mix and match so beautifully, both the shades and the formulas. And so I just had a lot of fun playing with them. And then I ended up just going in with Teddy, which is going to be this one right here, the most brown, nope, sorry, that one, the most brown out of all of them, which of course is the one that I would prefer. And I went in with Venetian Rose, which is just such an absolutely lovely shade. It's this, like, you know, cool rose color in her lip cushion tinted lip luminizer. And I also have this in Magic Hour. Let's go ahead and swatch that. This formula is awesome. It's like a lipstick version of a highly pigmented lip gloss, in my opinion. Like, that's the best way that I could describe it. So Magic Hour is that perfect coral, but it's like got a little bit of like a cool thing behind it. It doesn't go like pure orange. That coral shade is just so beautiful. So I have Venetian Rose on my lips, and then I topped it off. You guys, you told me so many times to buy this, and they ended up just sending it to me, but this is their, oh my gosh, what is it called? I think it's called Morning Dew, and it's in the shade Quartz, and it smells really lovely, and it is just a beautiful clear gloss, like a really nice clear gloss. I don't need to keep putting it on, but it smells like vanilla. I'm a huge fan of this. And honestly, I think that while a lot of people have told me that the strength of her line is really her brow products, I would argue her lip formulas are beyond reproach. There is something for everybody in terms of formula, and I really think that, like, while you might sit there and like quibble on her website, like, will this color look good on me? They will look good or they will look great. None of them will look bad. That's how I feel, because usually I'm not a lip color person, but every single one of these makes my lips look healthy and bouncy and looks at home. And even if, like with the caramel glaze, it's a little tiny bit too like deep brown for me, I feel like all I have to do is top it off with something or sheer it out and it works. There's just something about like, I have never encountered a line where so many things work for me. And I don't think that it's because this is like white girl makeup. I think that it's just because these are ingenious color stories. It's often, you know, a leap to say that something works for everybody, but I think that there is something in this line for everyone. So the final thing that we need to discuss is this mascara, okay? Because this was, again, one of the really hotly anticipated things, especially on my channel, because you guys know that I'm such a huge fan of tubing mascaras. In fact, I've become quite a connoisseur. I used to say connoisseur, and someone corrected me, and I was like, I'm kidding. I know it's pronounced connoisseur. Anyway, I have become kind of a connoisseur of tubing mascaras, and this one is the same price as the Thrive mascara, which is my ride or die. And I went ahead and applied one on this eye. I did the M Cosmetics on this eye, and then I did Thrive on this eye, and I showed it to you guys in the insert so that you guys could see. The first thing that I noticed is that one coat of this doesn't really do much. I was pretty disappointed with the first coat, but once I let it dry and put on a second coat, I liked it a lot more, and I think that it is really, really pretty. It is very different from the Thrive in terms of formula. It is much lighter. I think that that is probably because Michelle Phan empathizes with the typical challenge of very straight eyelashes, which is that, you know, you put a heavy mascara on them and you lose all of the work that you have put into curling them. And that is the biggest complaint that I hear about this formula, about the Thrive formula, is that if you have very, very straight lashes, Asian lashes tend to be more straight, then this will kind of kill all the work that you did. It will just weigh your lashes down. I don't have that problem. I'm looking for like maximum volume as quickly as possible, and the Thrive gives me that. The Hourglass gives me that. This is going to be more towards your lighter weight, your Glossier Lash Slick, your Blink, the hard candy one, things like that. This is going to give you that like lightweight more elongated lash instead of kind of clustering them together and giving you that like va-va-voom, like big chunky volume. I'm a big fan of the big chunky volume myself. I just like how it looks, but I totally understand that it's a preference thing. So while this is not my new favorite mascara, and I do want to show you guys what the wand looks like and everything, it looks a lot like the Thrive. It doesn't have a weighted cap or anything like that, but it does have a regular plastic brush on it, not a nylon kind of unpredictable brush on it. And so you do get a lot of control with this. I found this formula to be so lightweight that it didn't have as much use for me, as much as like this is like crazy satisfying for me. So I know that that is one of the things that you guys have been waiting on for this video was, you know, my take on this mascara. It does meet my standards for a tubing mascara. It does actually tube. It doesn't smudge or smear over the course of the day, which is why I love a tubing mascara. That and the rinse off doesn't make you ever have to rub your eyes, which I absolutely love. It's just a different take on a tubing mascara than I'm used to, and it might absolutely be your thing. Oh my gosh, guys. I feel so Cosmetics rich right now. I have pretty much everything I could possibly want from her here, and I feel so fortunate and grateful to have it on hand for my own personal use because it's all such a pleasure to use. I talk about this all the time. There's makeup that's good, there's makeup that's great, and then there's makeup that's just really fun to use, and all of these are really fun to use because the shades are so ingenious, like I said. But also, I'm just grateful to be able to share this stuff with you. So thank you to Cosmetics for sending me as many things as they have. And then also, you know, I bought the foundation, I bought a lot of the blushes and things like that prior to this to share with you guys regardless. I hope that you guys found this helpful and informative. I really wanted to focus on performance today. She doesn't even list her ingredients online, at least not from what I could see. So if you are curious about that for allergic reasons and stuff, I would highly recommend reaching out to the brand. They're very sweet. But also, I wanted to give you guys, typical of my channel, not necessarily a binary review on these things. Like, for example, the color drops, they're really beautiful. They're just not for me, but they might be for you. The mascara, really beautiful, not for me, might be for you. So if you guys found this helpful, do give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you did. Little baby one over there stretching in his sleep. He's just so stinking cute. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. And always, I love you guys so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.